Welcome to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown, where we bring you the latest stories that matter to Filipinos straight from the heart of the Manila Bulletin newsroom. Here is the quick rundown of today's top stories, Thursday, November 14th. Ofel weakens after landfall in Cagayan, according to PAGASA. Super Typhoon Ofel, or international name, Usagi, weakened after making landfall in Bagao, Cagayan at 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, November 14. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration said Ofel has been downgraded to a typhoon, though it remains a destructive cyclone, packing maximum sustained winds of 175 kilometers per hour near its center and gusts reaching 240 kilometers per hour. PAGASA warned that, regardless of the exact landfall location, hazardous conditions could still affect areas outside the landfall point and the forecast confidence cone. Intense to torrential rainfall that is over 200 millimeters may persist in Cagayan and Isabela over the next 24 hours. Ilocos and Cagayan Valley Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Councils on alert as Ofel approaches. The Cagayan Valley Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council is on alert as Super Typhoon Ofel is expected to make landfall in this province or Isabela on Thursday afternoon, November 14th. Mia Carbonell, spokesperson of the Office of Civil Defense Region 2, said they and provincial and local government units and the local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office have joined hands to ensure preemptive and forced evacuation of people in the path of the tropical cyclone to ensure their safety. Under a red alert status, the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council 1 said measures such as warning and advisories will regularly be issued. Preparedness directives cascaded, all response clusters activated, work and class suspension in effect, communities in high-risk areas preemptively evacuated, and rapid deployment teams are deployed in strategic areas. According to President Marcos, that the government won't help the International Criminal Court, but to comply with Interpol over drug war probe. While President Marcos reiterated that his administration will not cooperate with any International Criminal Court-initiated investigation on former President Rodrigo Duterte, he stressed that the Philippines has to live up to its obligations to Interpol once the ICC seeks the latter's intervention. Marcos has maintained the statement of Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin that the palace will not get in the way of Duterte's desire to be investigated by the ICC after he dared the body to probe his bloody drug war immediately. With the possible move of the ICC to seek the Interpol to transmit a red notice to the Philippine authorities against the former president, Marcos refused to make a comment on the government's position once Duterte is probed under the ICC through the Interpol's notice. Philippines and China still at odds over sovereignty meeting. President Marcos believes that nothing has changed between the Philippines and China as both countries insist on their rights over portions of the West Philippine Sea. Marcos said this as China rejected the newly signed laws on the Philippines' maritime zones and archipelagic sea lanes. Likewise, Marcos believes that the twin laws prove the Filipinos' commitment to ensuring the safety and prosperity of their maritime domain and the country's firm faith in its identity as a maritime nation. The Department of Budget and Management infuses 875 million pesos into Department of Social Welfare and Development's Quick Response Fund. Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman has approved the release of 875 million pesos to replenish the Department of Social Welfare and Development's Quick Response Fund to ensure timely support for families affected by typhoons. Under this year's General Appropriations Act, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Fund may be used as an additional funding source for the Quick Response Fund of implementing agencies when their balance drops below 50%. Provided they secure approval from the DBM. Pangandaman further stated that the funding is essential for the DSWD to continue providing assistance to families impacted by the typhoon. Trump makes a victor's return to Washington to meet with Biden and GOP lawmakers. President Joe Biden will welcome Trump to the White House on Wednesday for an Oval Office visit that is a traditional part of the peaceful handoff of power, a ritual that Trump himself declined to participate in 4 years ago. Trump also planned to meet with Republicans from Congress as they focus on his day one priorities and prepare for a potentially unified government with a GOP sweep of power in the nation's capital. His arrival amid Republican congressional leadership elections could put his imprint on the outcome. Biden insists that he'll do everything he can to make the transition to the next Trump administration go smoothly. That's despite having spent more than a year campaigning for re-election and decrying Trump as a threat to democracy and the nation's core values. Chiefs eliminate the Knights from semis race in NCAA. Arellano University Chiefs eliminated the Letran Knights from the Final Four race with a nail-biting 67-65 victory in the NCAA Season 100 men's basketball at the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in San Juan City. Though already out of semifinal contention, the Chiefs still displayed grit, especially in the crucial moments, to extend their winning streak to 3 games and improve their win-loss tally to 7-10 with 1 game left in the season. Letran, for its part, ended the season with a heartbreak, absorbing its 10th defeat against 8 wins for solo 6th and kissing its semis hopes goodbye. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph or follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown.